हेलो हाय। आज हम लोग पढ़ेंगे इंडियन रॉक सिस्टम्स के बारे में, इंडियन रॉक सिस्टम के बारे में। तो सब कुछ फैक्चुअल है, इसमें थोड़ा बहुत समझने का है, तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो सबसे पहले कैटेगरी का रॉक आता है आर्कियन रॉक्स। इसमें दो कैटेगरी होती है। पहली आर्कियन ग्रेनाइटिक एंड ग्नेसिक रॉक्स की, which came out of the interior of the earth during the Archean times and then solidified over the earth. The next category is the Dharwar rocks. These Archean granitic and gneissic rocks were over the time period eroded and then deposited into localized peninsular basins, and also uh, at the edge of the Indian subcontinent, where they turn into metamorphosed rocks, also called Dharwar rocks. So Dharwar rocks are basically metamorphosed Archean rocks which are found in the peninsular India as well as in the Greater Himalayas. Greater Himalayas कैसे? So let me show you how. So this will I will be discussing at the end of the video कि how Dharwar rocks are found in Greater Himalayas. एक हिंट देता हूँ कि ना ही केवल जो धारवार रॉक्स यानी कि आर्कियन ग्रेनाइटिक एंड ग्नीसिक सेडिमेंट्स जो थे, ना ही केवल जो बेसिन्स थे लोकलाइज पेनिनसुलर इंडिया में उनमें डिपॉजिट हुए, बल्कि ऑल्सो ऑन द एज ऑफ द इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट विच लेटर बिकेम पार्ट ऑफ द ग्रेटर हिमालयस, राइट। तो अभी मैं ये डायग्राम बना के भी दिखाऊंगा कि हाउ द धारवार रॉक्स और मेटामॉर्फोज्ड आर्कियन रॉक्स बिकेम द पार्ट ऑफ हिमालयस। लेट्स मूव ऑन। द नेक्स्ट रॉक आर पुराना रॉक्स. Purana rocks or Proterozoic rocks. They were found in the Purana basins or the Proterozoic basins, and during the Proterozoic times or the Purana times. And how these basins are formed, where many geographers believe that these Proterozoic basins, in which these sediments was deposited and later became the Purana rocks or Proterozoic rocks, were formed because of an anomaly called reverse pluming, reverse mental plume, reverse mental pluming. तो mental plume तो आप जानते ही हैं. This is the earth. The mental plumes are like this, coming from deep within the earth. और इसी का अगर एक, now if the processes get reversed, this is called reverse pluming somehow. और रिवर्स प्लूमिंग क्या है? रिवर्स प्लूमिंग इज एन एनोमली. तो इसको हम लोग रट लेंगे, नो नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट. ठीक है. तो these basins or the proterozoic basins were formed because of an anomaly called reverse mental pluming, and when these basins are formed, these basins suffered sedimentation and later the sediments within these basins became Purana rocks or Proterozoic rocks. So they are very prevalent in the peninsular India and are usually known as Vindhya rocks or Kadapa rocks. They are also found in lesser Himalayas. लेसर हिमालयाज में कैसे, वो भी मैं अभी आपको डायग्राम के थ्रू बनाऊंगा. क्योंकि जो प्रोटेरोज, एक हिंट और देता हूँ फिर से कि जो प्रोटेरोजॉइक टाइम्स में या पुराना टाइम्स में जो डिपोजिशन हो रहा था वो इन पुराना बेसिन्स में ही नहीं हो रहा था, जो कि रिवर्स मेंटल ब्लूम के थ्रू बने थे. इट वाज आल्सो हैपनिंग ऑन द एज ऑफ द इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट. नाउ लेट्स मूव ऑन. द्रविडियन रॉक्स. तो द्रविडियन रॉक्स यानी कि those rocks which are formed during Paleozoic age, and these are the rocks that are primarily formed at the base of the Tethys Ocean during Paleozoic times. अच्छा, Paleozoic times में ही द्रविडियन रॉक्स का फॉर्मेशन क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि ड्यूरिंग दिस Paleozoic टाइम्स लाइफ बूम्ड इनसाइड द ओशन. तो उस जब चूंकि लाइफ बूम हुआ, लाइफ ज्यादा हुई ओशंस में, तो सेडिमेंट्स भी ज्यादा होने लगे, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दीज सेडिमेंट्स द्रविडियन रॉक्स केम इनटू प्लेस. पैलियोजोइक टाइम्स के पहले इतना लाइफ नहीं था ओशंस में, स्पेशली इन द टथिश ओशियन, कि मतलब सेडिमेंट्स आ सके टू फॉर्म रॉक्स इन लार्ज क्वांटिटी. बट पैलियोजोइक टाइम्स के बाद और थ्रू में क्या हुआ कि लाइफ इंक्रीज्ड, the number of life forms increased in the ocean, the sediments increased, and therefore the formation of rocks accelerated within the sediments within the base at the base of the Tethys Ocean, and we get Dravidian rocks. So केवल ऐसा, तो एक तो मैं ये बता रहा हूँ, Tethys Ocean was one of the region where this happened, but they are also found in peninsular India as well. भाई जो लोकलाइज्ड बेसिंग होंगे पेनिनसुलर इंडिया में वहाँ भी तो डिपोजिशन होगा ही, भले ही वहाँ लाइफ फॉर्म्स हो या ना हो, बट मोस्टली दे आर फाउंड in the but they mostly formed at the base of the Pacific Ocean. So they are, if you now locate their uh, place, they are not only found in peninsular India but also in Himalayas as well. Right. नेक्स्ट गोंडवाना रॉक्स। तो गोंडवाना रॉक्स कैसा, इनका फॉर्मेशन कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कहाँ हुआ? तो ड्यूरिंग परमियन टाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंड दैट द mobile belts along the cratonic suture zones became active and led to the formation of rift valleys. Within these rift valleys sedimentation हुआ, और sedimentation के बाद these sediments became rocks. So uh, so these sediments became rocks and became known as and came to be known as Gondwana rocks. तो ये कहाँ मिलते हैं ये? एक एग्जांपल मैं आपको देता हूँ, नर्मदा वैली में। नर्मदा वैली रॉक्स आर ऑफ दिस कैटेगरी। मोबाइल बेल्ट्स क्या होता है, सूचर सूचर जोन्स क्या होता है, क्रेटोनिक सूचर जोन्स क्या होता है? वी नो इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट इज मेड ऑफ cratons, so these are two cratons. So where these two cratons meet, their boundary is called suture zone. And if this suture zone has some kind of mobile fold mountain belts, fold mountain belt along it, then such fold mountain belt will be called a mobile belt. So suture zone is just the boundary, and mobile belt uh, is the fold mountain along this boundary, right? So these mobile belts became active in the Permian times because of some geological regions, because of some geological reasons, geological regions, geological reasons. And when these mobile belts became active, there were faults, and the faults witnessed sedimentation, and then these sediments became Gondwana rocks. For example, Narmada Valley rocks are of this category. Next are tertiary rocks. These rocks were found in the tertiary times, as the name suggests, and these rocks are abundant in the Shivalik and the lesser Himalayan ranges, and were formed from the sediments brought from the greater and Tethys Himalayas. Right, and these also includes Bhangar and Khadar deposits found in Gangetic Plains and the Karewa deposits in the Himalayas. So this was very straightforward. Acha, now let's understand how Proterozoic rocks and Archean metamorphic rock became the part of Himalayas. So this is say Indian subcontinent. Indian subcontinent. So what happens is during the Archean times, sediments were brought to the edge of this continent and deposited here. Say this is the Archean deposits. Over the time, they will get metamorphosed because of the pressure, right? Because deposition is continuously happening. Then what happens in the Proterozoic times? But Proterozoic sediments are brought uh, along the edge of the Indian subcontinent, and they will also get uh, metamorphosed. But since the Archean rocks are at a great depth and have a greater time, they are completely metamorphosed. But the Proterozoic sediments are, some of them are completely metamorphosed, and some remain the sedimentary type, and some became sedimentary type of rocks. Right? तो ये हो गया आपका आर्कियन मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स, ये हो गया आपका प्रोटेरोजोइक मेटासेडिमेंट्री, ये हो गया आपका इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट, और ये हो गया आपका यूरेशियन। राइट, और ये बीच में टेथिस ओशन, सॉरी बनाने के लिए और बड़ा होगा ये टेथिस ओशन, तभी आप समझने के लिए समझिए। So now when these two collided, the Archean metamorphic rocks became the Greater Himalayas, part of the Greater Himalayas, and Proterozoic metasedimentary became part of the Lesser Himalayas. Right. जो लोग कहते हैं कि less Himalayas are made of sedimentary deposits are entirely wrong. हम लोग इस पे भी बात करेंगे कि हाउ हिमालयाज आर फाउंड एंड व्हाट आर द टाइप्स ऑफ डिपॉजिट एंड रॉक सिस्टम दैट आर फाउंड इन हिमालयाज, बट दैट इज फॉर द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर। ठीक, तो तब तक के लिए गुड बाय। This was a topic which was not too hard, but there were some concepts missing over the internet and on the videos on the YouTube, so I provided you this topic. Thank you for your support and please subscribe.